Muy buenos días a todas las personas que se conectan a esta sesión informativa de Colfuturo con Durham University. Mi nombre es Lady Velázquez, soy asistente del programa de Consejería Académica y de Relaciones Internacionales y los acompañaré en esta sesión junto con Martin. Él es representante de esta universidad y nos contará sobre la oferta académica, requisitos de admisión, opciones de financiación y demás información relevante para iniciar sus estudios de posgrado en el exterior. Les recuerdo que Colfuturo tiene un convenio con Durham University que comprende una beca del 100% para beneficiarios de Colfuturo y un 20% de descuento para todos los demás estudiantes. Recuerden que para acceder a este beneficio deben postularse al programa Crédito Beca de Colfuturo, el cual tiene ya una convocatoria abierta y que cerrará el 28 de febrero. Si están interesados en conocer más sobre este programa, los invito a asistir a nuestras charlas informativas, que son todos los viernes a las 8 de la mañana en modalidad virtual. So with no more introduction, thank you, Martin, for being here, and you can go ahead and start your presentation.
Okay, can you see that?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, great. Okay, hello everybody, and thank you for coming along today. My name is Martin Pout. I'm the International Development Manager here at Durham University in England. I come from an academic background. I have lectured for over 20 years at all levels within university, but particularly postgrad, and I've had the pleasure of working with many international students, including those from Colombia, a country which I've enjoyed visiting in the past. I've had many wonderful holidays over there in Cartagena on the coast too. So it's a great pleasure to be here today. I want to talk for the next 20 minutes a little bit about Durham, and then I will be able to just answer some questions if possible, okay, to you. Right, so we're going to talk about location of Durham University, because it's probably not a university you have heard of. I'll talk about the reputation, the unique collegiate system, the postgrad courses, entry requirements, how you apply, our link with Colfuturo, any other resources we've got, and also I will show you some information from Felipe, who was a student who's been through the system here at Durham University. Durham University itself is in the northeast of England. So if there was a line just above us, that would be the north of us would be Scotland, and below would be England there. So we're about 3 hours from London, the capital there, and we're in the northeast of England. And it's a very green and very safe city. It's quite a very small city too. And in the northeast, it's a very historic area by the coast. Unfortunately, the weather's not as warm as it is in Colombia, but so you enjoy the beaches, but we don't tend to go swimming much, particularly not this time of year. There's a lot of history around where we are, lots of old castles all by the coast. So this is all in easy reach of where we are based at Durham University, right on the coast. And this is a picture of Durham University itself. We're the third oldest university in England, behind Oxford and Cambridge. We're also a UNESCO World Heritage Site, so we're very beautiful. And as you can see, in the center, we have a very large cathedral right in the center there of where the university is. And all the buildings around, including the castle, are university buildings. And we've got a lovely river going around the side of it. We have 17 colleges of residence, and I'll talk about that in a moment. We have around 20,000 students on campus, and about 30% of them are international students from around about 150 different countries. As I say, it's a very historic city, and many of our buildings and architecture are very old, although we do have very modern buildings too. And this is a few pictures from around Durham. So we've got two pictures there of some of the shopping centre areas. We've got some very narrow old streets where people used to go with horse and carts. And we got a picture of the university there from one of the bridges with the river going around it. We do a lot of sport and culture, and at certain times of year we have a light festival where we light up a lot of our historic buildings. You can walk around, and we make the whole city into an art installation, which is great on on a winter evening to walk around and see these things. And of course, we have lots of sport and activities, including lots of rowing and the rowing competitions, which is lovely on a sunny summer's day. As for reputation, even though not many people have heard of Durham University, we do have a very good reputation. We're a world top 100 university in the QS World Rankings. We have 2 subjects in the world top 10, 19 subjects in the world top 100. We're 5th in the UK in The Guardian, 1st in the UK for team sport, and 30th in the most international universities in the world, according to the Times Higher Education. We're also rated gold for TEF, and we're a member of the Russell Group. So since I believe since British league tables started for universities, I don't think we've ever been outside the top 5 or the top 6 in any of those league tables there. So we're one of the most famous universities in the UK and one of the oldest too. We have, like Oxford and Cambridge, we have something called the collegiate system, where you live on campus. You live in something called a college. It's the same as Oxford and Cambridge, and us as the 3 old universities, we have this system. Unlike Oxford and Cambridge, you are not taught in your college. You live in your college and you're taught in your department, but you have a lot more social activities and things going on. And this forms part of your social experience at Durham. And you can express your preference for a college, although it's not 100% guaranteed. You get first preference, and all international students are guaranteed college place. And this behind you, you can see the photograph there, is a photograph of one of our colleges, which is called University College. And as you can see, it really is a castle. I don't know how many universities you can go and live in a castle. And it's very, very Harry Potter at Durham University, if anyone's seen those films. We have different types of colleges from different ages. So this one's only about 300 years old, where the first one was about 1,000 years old. Colleges have similar structures, so don't worry too much if you don't get your first choice. You can stay in a college if you secure a room as a postgraduate student, or you could live out in rented accommodation in the city too. There's a mixture of undergrad and postgraduate students in all college, apart from this one, which is called Eustonhoff College. And Eustonhoff also offers family accommodation if you do come across with your family, because some students do that. Within the college accommodation, you can have self-catered accommodation, or you can have catered accommodation. And this is one of the halls, the dining halls we have at Durham University. And if you want something formal, where you dress for dinner and wear your black robes, it really is like Harry Potter if you've seen any of the films. In fact, 2 of the Harry Potter films were filmed at Durham University. So we do have that connection with Harry Potter. Excuse me. So you can go to a formal dining experience, or you can do self-catering. It's up to you. Now, the college accommodation also has other activities there, such as common rooms. You can develop your personal skills, social events such as balls, concerts, facilities. Most colleges have their own fitness center, although we have a wonderful, huge fitness center and sports center at Durham University, and we rank #1 in the UK for sport. You don't have to get at your college. You have private library, you have a music room, gym, bar, cafe, etc. And you have personal support. You have student support within your college to help you any time of the day. And of course, you have a link to all our library facilities directly from the college too. And you're given a mentor for support to ensure that you get the most out of your year at Durham if you're studying postgrad. This is the list of where all the colleges are. So that's it. You can't read that, but I'll just show you just for the map purpose. So this is where the castle is, and the cathedral, and the river goes around, and all the yellow dots on there are all the different colleges. It's a very small city, so that means everywhere is walking distance. I know if you go to a bigger city like somewhere like London or Manchester, you may have to live quite far away from your lectures and your studies or your labs, depends on what course you're doing, here at Durham, you're walking distance from everywhere. So that keeps the costs really, really low, because I know it's something important to all students. Some photographs of student life. So you have student parties in your college. This is Anna, who was supposed to be doing the talk today. She's a recent graduate, and there she is at the bottom there, holding an owl and almost dressed like Harry Potter, in fact. And she was in an informal hall where you have shared accommodation and shared kitchen facilities there, or you can go for the more formal type of activities too. Of course, if you're into rowing, football, netball, you like playing instruments, you like going to music events, we've got it all for students. We have our own theatre on campus, and we have 90 student theatre productions a year, and we're #1 in the UK for music too. And we have 84 different music societies, so we have around about 80 concerts per year too. So if you like that sort of thing, there's always something to go to. And of course, all these student events are either free or very, very low cost. So you can have a wonderful time here at very low cost. One thing I didn't say about living in the Northeast is the Northeast is probably the most affordable place to live in the UK. And what money you have will go much, much further. The accommodation, living costs, food, etc. Yes, in the world, everything seems to have gone up. I was recently in North America, and I found it very expensive there. But in the northeast of England, it's a very affordable place to live, and Durham certainly is, and your money will go further. I have a neighbour whose son is in London studying, and it would certainly cost, he could have 3 years in Durham for 1 year in London, because living expenses are so expensive in the big cities compared to somewhere like Durham. The Durham Students' Union has lots of clubs and societies, such as we have 200 clubs and societies. These are just some of them, including academic societies, such as Law Society. We have faith-based, language and culture. There's a charity, there's sport, and there's fun ones too, such as Bubble Tea Society, Instant Noodle Society, Free Fall, Lego Society, Quidditch. I believe there's a Chocolate Appreciation Society. And of course, if there isn't a society, you can make one, and the Durham Students' Union will help support you for that. Sport is really important to people at Durham, and it doesn't matter if you want to try a sport for the first time in your life and just have a bit of fun, or if you want to play at the highest level in the Olympics or at international level. We have sports people from all those areas, and this is our major sporting area, which is just off campus there. You can see the cathedral in the background, so it's a short 5-10 minute walk to there, and inside there you've got state-of-the-art facilities such as sports center. There's an ergo gallery full of rowing machines. Rowing's a big sport at Durham. We have fitness center, different classes, CrossFit, etc. All wonderful facilities there, and that's why we rank #1 in the UK for sport. As for the postgraduate courses, we have 4 faculties at Durham University. I oversee international for 2 of them, namely Arts and Humanities and Social Sciences and Health, but we have most courses at the postgraduate level. The only courses we don't tend to have are medicine-related courses, and so a lot of the health-related courses too, such as physiotherapy or nursing or pharmacy. Most other areas we do have. So we have the business ranges courses, arts and humanities, things such as English studies, history, music, philosophy, religion, science, bioscience, chemistry, computer science, earth sciences, engineering, maths, physics, psychology, and the social sciences, geography, education, things like government, international relations, areas like that, law, sociology, and sport and exercise science too, if you're a sports scientist. The degree structure for PGT, PGR, for a master's, it's usually 1 year, and that's 12 months, 1 year. And that's a 180 credit score with about 120 credits coming from taught lectures and 60 credits from your dissertation, your final project that you do, and generally over the summer months. So it's usually October to the end of September. It's usually 12 months of study there. Postgraduate research is undertaken in your own studies with supervision, but is not taught in classes. And masters, you can do a MSc, but a research masters, and that can be done over 1 year. Or if you do a PhD, a doctorate, that would be over 3 years here in England, in the UK. If you're looking for courses on the Durham website, we have a course search. If you go to the Durham University website and you'll just search for a course there, it'll come up with something and you search for it and just click on that course. And then, for example, it was civil engineering. If you look at the Navigate side, you've got course details, learn how you're learning on the entry requirements, fees and funding, career opportunities, how to apply. So it'll tell you all the information you need there. Entry requirements for Columbia for postgraduate. Hopefully, I'm not including that there. So you've got the link there. Overall score 3.8 or higher. MBA candidates, if you're looking for that, will require 3 years managerial experience before you're allowed to do an MBA. And PhD candidates also require more from a prestigious institution, but also it's when you apply for that, you will need to put in your proposal of what you will research. Same for your for your non-taught masters. Grades depend on course applied for, so it depends on which course you want to apply to. Look at them specifically because they do change per course. IELTS is usually somewhere between 6.5 to 7, depending on which course you want to apply to. When you apply, application process required. We need a degree transcript, statement of marks, and original and translated certified from your institution, from your university. Excuse me. You need a degree certificate, original and translated and certified. You need proof of an English language test. You need a personal statement and a research proposal for postgraduate research, and generally 2 academic references, although we're removing that for this year onwards. At the end of this year, we're removing the need for references on there. Now, when you apply, you don't have to put all this information in at the same time. You can apply and then send this information when you get it, particularly if you haven't done an English language test. You're not proposed to do one until later in the year. As for fees and funding, the fees side of things, for international students, it depends on the course, and that can range from around about £20,000 a year to about £32,000 a year for MBA. So when you look at your course on the Navigate page, it'll tell you what it is depending on what course you're applying to. Of course, if you coming through the Col Futuro, Durham University offers a full tuition fee scholarship for one Col Futuro beneficiary accepted onto a top postgraduate program per year. So we offer one full tuition fee scholarship per year. Everyone else in receipt of Col Futuro who weren't lucky enough to be accepted on and with everything paid for will receive a 20% discount on their tuition fee for the duration of their program. The candidate for the full tuition fee waiver will be selected by Durham University after the results excuse me, of the Col Futuro are announced. Now, I just got a couple of slides here from one of our students who was sat where you are now a few years ago, and he came to Durham, and they've got a few words on there. Unfortunately, I do not speak Spanish, German, Japanese, Mandarin, yes, but not Spanish. So I will just let go through the slides and let you read them, and then I'll be open for questions at the end of it. Okay, I'll move to the next slide. Hopefully you've seen that. Now the student, while he was here, took some photographs. So this is the view out of his window, and he was in one of the colleges. He was looking across there, and that's what he saw every day. And of course, in the UK, it does snow from time to time. So he was very excited, took some video there of some snowing. For some reason, he liked to play the piano with a bear's head on his head. I don't know why. And there's some other photographs there of across Durham that he took. Excuse me. Okay, thank you for that. I will stop sharing now, and we've got some time for questions. I will gladly answer some questions.
Good. Yeah, so thank you so much for this presentation. We are going to go ahead with the questions. So the first one is from Angie. He's asking for the English test requirement. We can send it over after the application.
Absolutely, you can. Yes, you can apply and send it over much later than that. Of course, you will not be made unconditional until we have receipt of that. But we appreciate that an English language test has a sell-by date on it. So many students may want to take it quite late to give them, a year, 2 or 3 years if they want to keep their options open. But you certainly can do that.
Okay, good. Thank you. We're going to go with Juan. He's asking, are there scholarship options? I mean, different from the ones you mentioned in the presentation?
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Because of our ranking and world status as a university, we often attract many big scholarships, big full scholarships, which will pay for everything from around the world. Now, these are competitive, so you would have to apply for them. And some students would say applying for them is harder than the degree, which is a little bit untrue, but they are competitive. But I must say that not all of them have been given out in the past. So they're very worthwhile applying for them. So what you need to do, go to the Durham website and look for scholarships or international scholarships, and look through the wide range of scholarships available that may apply to your circumstances, and you can apply for that. Many of these scholarships are funded externally from Durham University, and we are given a number of these scholarship placements. So the timelines of them can vary. So I can't comment on the timelines for them now. You would have to look at them directly.
Good, thank you. Then Christian says, if you can repeat the admission process.
Okay, the admissions process. So what you would do is look at which course you are interested in and read about that. And once you know exactly which course you are interested in, you would then click apply, and that will talk you through every stage of how to apply to Durham University. It'll talk through all the stages you need to do. When you apply, you would need to send to us, we mentioned earlier, the English test requirement, which you can send over later after the application. You would need to send your degree certificate and a list of your marks from the university, just to prove that you did get the grade you've got. You need to send those 3 documents, and the most important, at some point we would need a copy of your passport as well, just to prove who you are. But the process you can take some time with the process. You can do it straight away, or you can send it bit by bit. It's up to you.
Good, thank you. We're gonna go with William. He's asking, if I don't have the English level, could we improve it? Could we improve it at Durham before the start of the master?
Yes, there is a chance to do that. We do have a pre-sessional course for students too, and we have a pre-sessional course, and we have our Stockton campus. We work with International Study Group, and they have pre-sessional courses there. You can do a 12 months pre-sessional course, or you can do a 6 weeks pre-sessional course. So for example, if you're half a point down on IELTS, you could do a short course to build up there, or you could do a much longer course to build up your English. And while you're studying there, not only will you study English, you will have also lectures and talks from the subject area you're most interested in, and you will be a bona fide Durham University student, so you can use our library, come to our socials, come to use our facilities too. So it is possible to do that.
Okay, thank you. Then Karen says, if I'm admitted to Durham but not to Colfuturo, how much time do I have to start my studies?
How much time do you have to start your studies?
Yes.
Right. Ideally, if you apply, when you apply to do your postgraduate, we start from the end of September, beginning of October, as for 12 months. You can defer that for 1 year if you wish. If we give you an offer, we will honor that for 1 year. Now, unfortunately, like some universities, the newer universities, we don't have January start dates or February start dates or mid-year start dates. It's always from October, September for 12 months onwards.
Good, thank you. Shirley says, is there an additional requirement for the Master in Law?
You have to prove in law that you have an aptitude for law. So generally, if you have a law degree first, that shows you've got an aptitude. If you haven't got a law degree from there, you can do something called a law test, an online law test, which we call the LNAT, which many universities do, and you can do the LNAT law test to prove that you've got an aptitude for law. Now, the reason we don't ask for a specific mark in the LNAT test for you to come to Durham. The reason why we ask students to do it is because we get so many applications particularly for areas of law. We just want students, we only want to give places to students who really want to study law. So we put that extra step in. However, if you've already done a law degree or a law related degree, it's proven that you've got an interest in law.
Good, thank you. Then Angie is asking, do the grades need to be translated?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. I'm not the only one in Durham who can't speak Spanish. Many of my colleagues do, but the people at admissions don't. So they do need to be translated if possible. We appreciate sometimes this is not possible, but we do ask them to be translated.
Okay, good, thank you. Then we have questions that came through social media. So the first one is, can you tell us about the work experience?
Yes, I can. Now, the work experience will depend upon what course you do, because it varies. But the university has some links with some brilliant organizations from around the world. So you may be able to go back and do work experience at home, or you could do work experience in the UK. And it depends on which course you do, depends on what links you have. Two work experiences from last year which jump out at me are Google and NASA. So that's a couple of organizations you may have heard of that we have links with. So you can get work experience. Of course, many students like to do postgraduate study as a way to become an academic too. And we give the opportunity to do research if you want to become an academic and a university lecturer or university professor, because a master's is often the first step towards it, and it certainly was in my career. That's what got me interested in becoming an academic.
Good. Then the next question is, do you have an interview?
We don't tend to have interviews for courses. There are one or two courses within the universities that have interviews, but generally we don't.
Okay, good. Next one, he's asking about the cost of living in the UK.
Okay. I think I mentioned this a little bit in my presentation. Yeah, the cost of living is something that everyone around the world is concerned with. And yes, prices have gone up in the UK. However, living as a student, we appreciate that students don't have that much money. So we're trying to keep the costs down on campus as much as possible. So first of all, come to Durham. You're in the northeast of England, which is the cheapest place to live, the most affordable place to live in the UK. So prices for things such as a sandwich or drinks or food or washing powder and things are much, much cheaper than, say, places like London, which can be 2 to 3 times that price. The second thing is Durham is a very small and very safe city where most people just walk around at any time. So there's no public transport costs. You don't need a car. You don't need, even a bike to get around. It is so small and safe that people walk around any time of day and night. People are just walking around. And because the city, I would say 2/3 of the inhabitants of the city are students, the whole city feels like a student place. So that keeps the cost down too. And because it's a student city, every shop, bar, restaurant, cinema does student deals to keep things as cheap as possible. So your money goes a lot further. Of course, if you wish to fund your studies a little bit further, all international students can work up to 20 hours per week, get a part-time job, and our Students' Union will help you do that. In fact, one of the things we do is employ within international office, employ students such as Cultural students, and we will employ you to give tours around the campus when we have international guests, because it's great for a student to talk to a student, because you sell it best rather than someone like me, like an old academic. So you would get someone doing that, and we would pay you a good wage to do that. So 2 or 3 tours a week, and that's good money. So you can do extra things. You can buy an extra pair of jeans or whatever you need.
Good.
Excuse me.
Then Angie is asking, my graduation will be until June. Can I add the certificate until June?
Yes, you become a graduate if you go to graduation or not. So once you get your pass mark, you will get your certificate then. You will get your certificate then, and you can ask for it in the post. We have graduations several times a year. We've just had one 2 weeks ago, in winter graduation, and we have a summer graduation too for the people here. But as long as you got your marks, you don't have to go to your graduation. If it was the question about she doesn't get her graduation until June, or our graduation in Durham, what was the question?
No, she's asking about here in Colombia.
Okay,
Graduation
sorry.
is going to be until June.
Yeah, sorry, that's fine. That's fine. Many university students who want to go straight into masters are in the same situation. And as I said, in the UK, there may be students who don't get a mark back until September. So that's fine. That's fine.
Okay, good.
And remember, even if you are late getting your marks in, we do guarantee you college accommodation.
Okay, good. Then Nicholas is asking, how much do you get paid an hour?
What
About
me personally, or as a student? Yeah, as a student, it can vary. The minimum wage in the UK, I believe, for any job is £10.50 per hour. That is the legal minimum wage. We tend to pay students £15 to £20 an hour.
Okay, good. And the last question, I would say that it's the most important one. They are asking about, what can I do to improve my chance of being admitted? Okay.
The best thing you can do is work hard now. If you're currently a student, get the highest grades you can when you apply. You do have a section on your application form to say why you want to apply for the course. So make sure you read about the course itself, and to make sure you say the reasons why you want to do that, why you're interested in that area. So that can help you in your motives. So we want students, and I certainly want students when I was lecturing, students who are coming in and they're going to make the most out of that course. We want students who are going to do all the reading, the extra reading, and going to be a really good student. So anything can show us that out of 100 people, and we've got 10 places, you deserve that place because you're going to work hard and you're going to make the most of it, rather than I'm just going to come to Durham and just take it easy going through. We want people who are going to work hard, but also enjoy Durham and the international experience too. Also as well, we do very much enjoy international students. I know when we teach, we often teach in seminars, and in Durham, one of the benefits of coming to Durham, well, I've said there's 2 big benefits of coming to Durham. One, because we're research intensive, you're going to have world-leading professors teaching you directly. And in our departments, we have very large departments of academics. So that means when you're in seminars of either of less than 10 people, 5 people, even 1-to-1 seminars. And it's great having students who come from different backgrounds, so you see the world differently. So when we're discussing things, you add to the debate just as much as what we add to the debate too. So get all that information down in your application. Also, it's not a bad thing to apply earlier than later as well, because some courses do become full.
Okay, good. And maybe you have like your email if they want to contact you, or a phone number.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I don't know if I can do this on the chat.
Yeah.
I'll put it on the chat. I'll go into the chat if I can and just type it down somewhere. Answer dismissed. I'm trying to get the chat open. Okay, if you can see it, I'll put my email on there. Okay, can you see that? Martin.j.pout?
Yeah, let me just, you send it just for the host.
Host and panelists, sorry about that.
Yeah, let me tell everyone. It allows me to everyone, no. Yes,
let's see if I can do it to, no, I can only do host and panelists on mine, I'm afraid. Okay, if you can send that to everyone, I'm unable to, I can only do host and panelists there. I may be able to write it down on a
yeah, I'm sorry, Martin, but
no, sorry,
I didn't do it. I don't know what happened. Yeah, it's already there. Yeah,
have you got it there? There you go. Okay, I was going to write and hold it up on a piece of paper. Very low tech, but if you got it there, anyone who's listening, if you've got questions today, next week, 4 weeks time, please email me, and if I can't answer that question, I will pass it on to someone I can. As I say, I'm obviously international for 2 of the 4 faculties. I've got 18 departments I've got good connections with, and on the others, I will certainly get an answer back to you. Okay.
Okay, yeah, good. So thank you so much, Martin. That concludes our questions and our presentation. So I hope everyone has a wonderful day, and remember that we have our call that is open and it's going to close on February 28th. So you can apply, and also if you have any questions regarding Durham, you can contact Martin and he's going to answer all your questions. So thank you so much and have a wonderful day.
Thank you. And thank you very much for listening. Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.